Okay, people, Rich here, and it's part 2 of my no prep dragster build. Excuse me while I wait for the comments to come online. In today's video, fingers crossed, we're going to be fitting the front carbon fibre suspension tower to the car, the rear carbon fibre suspension tower to the car, and I've been busy buying quite a few more goodies for the car. These wheels, which I'd got the other week and fitted to the car, somebody told me, no, you can't run those with the no prep dragster car, they need to be rubber ones. So, got these Proline Dragster green compound on it. Martin Snyder, hi. Oh, greetings from Holland, Martin. And these Proline wheels to go with them. Now I'll put those together in this video, but I'm going to glue them off camera. I've also finished working on my Trinity motor 2.5 turn on here, so that's pretty much ready to install in there. Now the ESC I'm looking at trying it with initially is this Castle Sidewinder 8, 6S capable, 90 amp max on there. So we're going to give that a try to start with on there. Not going to get all the electrics working on this video because while I've got a new Power Hobby servo as well to go in the car, one thing I failed to notice when I got this roller kit is there's no like mounting bars or anything to fit the servo in there. So whilst I've got my new servo, and I assume that's going to lie flat down under there, I've not actually got any way of anchoring it in through the two holes in there. And to power my nice dragster, we've got this 2S pack from Jens Ace. RC Speed Runs UK, hi. What time is it over there in the UK, guys? Coming up on 10, 11 o'clock, I'm guessing. Now I've got this 2S pack, Jens Ace, 5,800 milliamps, 100C. So I'm thinking this should be good for running this car. Dean's connector on this, which is quite appealing because it means then I can just fit it straight to that to the Castle Sidewinder 8S ESC, if that makes sense. Now you're thinking, Richie, that isn't going to fit in there. No, but I've measured it out and it will fit under there. So what I can do is use my Dremel, machine a couple of slots in here, so I can then hold that down with the battery strap, putting the battery right at the back under here, because I measured it, and it fits underneath there. Gonna make up a little mounting bracket, so I can fit the ESC right on the top there. So all the way to the back. If I then need to add any more weight to the front to keep the nose down, I can do, but I'd rather get the weight on the back over the tyres. Hope that makes sense. Now, the other rather expensive thing I had to buy, because well, say the other rather expensive thing I have to buy, I'll show you straight away, guys, is this Proline 32 pitch transmission for the back of the car. It came with this really cool hot racing one on here, except for one small problem. There is no way to attach the wheelie bar to the hot racing transmission. So that's going to come off. The new Proline one is going to go on. Not sure if we'll get that done in this video. I had a slight problem the other day with the camera overheating. Front and rear sway bar kit from Hot Racing to install as well today. I do apologise, on the last live feed the camera overheated and caused it to cut out, leaving me a bit dead in the water, so to speak. Anyway, to start with, let's fit the front carbon fibre race. These are from Extreme Racing, both the front and the rear one. Seem pretty comprehensive though. So we've got all our fixings in there. It takes forever getting set up on a live feed like this, guys and girls. It really is like a work of art. And I'm trying to watch the comments. Yeah, making dirt fly. Yes, I'm in California. It's far, the air quality's been far better the past few days here. There's far less smoke, so I'm getting, they're getting on top of wildfires. Yeah, 10:26 p.m. in the UK right now. I see COVID appears to be rearing its ugly head in the UK, with cases up 60% in the past week or so, which, with my parents living over there still in their 70s is like a bit of a worry. Like if one of them or either of them dies, I can't actually go back there for any kind of funeral, which is a fairly big weight on my mind. So just hoping they're staying safe. Okay, now the one thing I would say, people, on here, shocks is the one thing I'm not considered for the car. Anybody's got any advice as to what shocks I should use, what shock oil weight? Some people seem to recommend reversing the shocks on the two-wheel drive Slash and fitting the fronts to the rear to the fronts, etc. Anybody got any comments on that? I'd love to hear from you. Okay, now I'll actually get my electric drill on this in a minute, make it a lot quicker. Oh, thank you for letting me know. The numbers are climbing fast on there, people. Always good to hear. I'm still, as I say, I'm still getting used to the live feed. I've got a camera which would connect direct to my PC, which I'm reading the comments off in the corner of the screen. But my Wi-Fi coverage in the garage, the basement here, is not that great. Although I've got a really powerful link in the main house, like 600 megabits per second, something like that. But when my wife and daughter are using it for business, for like Zoom calls and stuff like that, it just pull it down a bit. Wiggle room in there. Yeah, I'm assuming these two on here. I had a Slash many moons ago that I bought my daughter Isabella, and Izzy didn't really get into. She like, it was one of those Traxxas pink ones, and she like, oh, buy that for me, daddy, buy that for me, daddy, and ran it about twice, and then yours truly ended up converting it to brushless VXL spec because she didn't really do an awful lot with it. Oh, West Yorkshire Catapult, so originally from Yorkshire. Yeah, from Sheffield, my boy. Yeah. Not many people could pick that out because at all on the accent. Okay, now I'm assuming, yeah, that slides out of there. So we just got to disassemble the two suspension arms. I managed to snap my best 2.5mm driver in half the other day in slightly bizarre circumstances, which I will not go into. Did involve quite a bit of child unfriendly language though. Man, that's in tight. That's really, really tight. And these are hardened steel drivers, and that thing just did not want to move. Oh, still doesn't. Yeah, one Harley, this sound is coming straight off of the iPhone, which always seems a little bit better. But I've people say about the sound on the channel, and I've actually gone through about $400 worth of microphones in the past 2 years. I've bought real expensive ones, bought really cheap ones, which have had good recommendations, and it kind of is what it is. But also, some of the time, people fail to realize that when you're watching something on YouTube, if your internet connection is only really slow, that YouTube will feed the video quality over to you in 720p. Now, obviously, there is not a lot I can do about that. So while I do the best I can at my end, it's not always possible to adjust it more than what it is. Sorry, people, it's like a million and one things to concentrate on. I'm trying to concentrate on a comment, yet at the same time keep my hands in the car out of the way of the camera as much as possible, and actually keep the camera in shot. Wild RC, hello. Thanks for dropping by. And Kenny said, RC, hello everyone. Hi guys. And West Yorkshire Catapults, how are you finding it over there in the UK at the minute? Are they beginning to clamp down on stuff over there? I hear Leeds is looking like that's going to go into lockdown in the next few days. Man, this is a workout. Whoever fit these screws to this front suspension, this is hard work. Can't think anyone would have used Loctite on the things. As I said, they bought this as a rolling chassis. And that is up there with the severely tight. Oh, you're in Chesterfield. Hey, Darren. Yeah, I used to drive past the Twisting Spire nearly every day on there. What made me go to the United States? How long have we got? Probably longer than this video is. A lot of reasons. Now, my wife got a new job over here, actually, which is one of the main reasons, and it was just too good an opportunity to miss. And to start with, we lived in New Jersey for 3 years. So if you see the other earlier video, and in New Jersey, COVID-19 would not have worried me at all because we lived in 7 acres. I had a rock crawling course, I had a stream running through the garden alongside it, well, through the rock crawling course. 2 paddocks, so I could run things like 8SX Max, low C DB XLA, absolutely flat out. The only thing I didn't have an area for was doing speedrun cars, but everything else. So literally in New Jersey, COVID-19, if it's still been there, would not have slowed me up at all. Sorry guys, just had to tighten the screw on that. The hex was coming loose on there. But yeah, moved out to California. It's a lot more expensive out here, to say the least. I now live in a house with, instead of 7 acres, I'm in a ½ acre plot, which a lot of the other people at my daughter's school say, oh, that's really nice, it's quite a big plot. And I'm thinking, not compared to the 7 acres I used to live in New Jersey. Sorry, just realigning everything. Okay, sort of it. This new carbon fibre bracket looks like we've just got 2 screws to remove it from the base there. These 2 control arms to remove from there, and then we should be in business to fit everything back on. And sorry people, trying to talk, keep the shot thing in camera and pay attention. Doug McQueen, New Jersey, that explains your heavy accent. Right, now, to a lot of my American viewers out there, right, in England, a lot of the humour is based on, that you'll see, oh my, child unfriendly language just about used. A lot of the humour is based on sarcasm. And so people will over here in California will say, oh, where are you from? So I reply, New Jersey. And like do it with a deadpan face. And people are like, but that's not like New Jersey accent, because New Jersey accent is like really, really strong. And so I have great fun taking the mickey out of people with that. But not every, well, people, it's like people say, but you're not from you. Oh, and then they get it, and they understand the fact that you're actually winding them up and taking the pee out of them. I think this thing must have, the front end of this, I don't think has ever been taken apart before, because it's pretty stiff on that. Matrix LC, that's where I'm from now. Do you mean New Jersey? Or the comment above you, BrosF33 said hello from Michigan. Yeah. More like you bought a new jersey from Sheffield Market. Oh, Darren Race. So many people out on here would not get that humour, but I am absolutely cracking myself up. As I say, people, I will keep on going today as long as I can. But the iPhone got really hot the other week, and after about an hour, the picture started cutting in and out, and I wasn't fully aware of that at the time. I said it's quite hard to concentrate on everything at once. I think though, that is that out of that, and that carbon fibre race onto that. You know when you're talking too much and you're not paying attention as to what screws actually went in where? Somebody shout out if that is not the screw that I've just taken out from there. No, it's not. Hey, Logan's RC, hiya. I am panicking now. I'm talking. Was that the screw I just took out of there? Or the one for the control arm going in there? I'm thinking this one was the one I need. It's kind of thing. Sometimes I video this stuff and when I'm working on my own and I'm taking something apart for the first time, I actually video it myself. And then if you make a mistake or anything like that, you can always rewind the video, put the thing back together. Yeah, man. Yeah, Matrix RC, pause, rewind. Yeah, literally, I would do that if I was on my own on here. Glance down for a second. Hey, Kevin Talbot now, so how are you doing? How is that 100-mile-an-hour grass-eating monster coming along? And how many fish have you caught with that fishing line around those tyres? Also, Kev, when are you going to be next running the speed run car? Because I'm sure people on it would like to know. Hey, Rock and Roller RC, no worries at all. Yeah. Man, some of these things are really, really tight going in here. It's definitely never been taken apart. Are you waiting on the new ESCs, Kev? Yeah. Wow. Which ones did you go for, Kevin? I've just... Oh, 2 seconds, everyone. He says... Oh. Can't find it. Forget that. I've opted for the Newcastle rather than going with one of those Banggood 12S ESC ones again, Kevin. I've gone for the Newcastle one with that cryo technology thing. Run the like hypercar thing on 8S. But I'll gonna try and do a live build of that because that's a little bit easier to work on. Okay. Now, on these carbon fibre shock towers, you've got a huge amount of adjustment, both top and bottom on them. I'm just going to pick a middle position out for the minute today. However, one thing I am thinking is, previous one, the screw went through into the plastic, whereas I'm now going to need a nut on the back of them. He says, not paying attention to all the hardware he's got set down off of camera over here, and we use the screws that came with on there, not on the back of it. Yeah, I spend quite a bit of money, Kev, but I think those MGM ESCs, yeah, that's like a super expensive, way out there kind of thing. But tyres is going to be the main thing, Kevin. Tyres. I keep saying that to you. I know I've done a couple of times in the comments, but it's the tyre. I think you're going to need to get something, some custom-made rims and bite the bullet. Ooh. Sorry, people, trying to keep it in camera shot and look at the comments at the same times. Yeah, Doug McQueen, actually, I did wonder if anybody's ever thought of like getting a an RC jet turbine engine and fitting it to an RC car. Not an EDF. I've seen people do that with the electronic, with the ducted fans on there. But I actually mean like a proper turbine. But I had a look at them and I was debating whether you could do something like that. But a small one is $2,500. Hey, Steve O'Day in the house. How are you doing, Steve-O? You going live tonight, Steve? I'm just going to get the cordless driver, guys. Not sure if something's slipping around on this one. Now we're cooking with gas. Same the other side. And if anybody knows any young person like in the NorCal area that really is quite good at drag racing and looking in need of a new car, I'm not actually that worried about driving this myself. The kind of enjoyment for me is in the building it out with the best parts, best spec, and in testing it, getting it running right. But on the day, I'm not actually worried if I get someone else to drive it or not. Oh, what car do I have above the Valentino Traxxas? Now, that is a ridiculously rare one from Traxxas. My friend John from Fog City RC is like slightly upset because John had one of those, and about a month before I bought that one, he sold his, and it's it's something like the Kyle Busch Special Edition truck from. It's something like a Kyle Busch Special Edition truck from Traxxas, and when I did a video of should Traxxas remake this car again, and the amount of thumbs up, the views it got was off the wall. And a lot of people said they should make that car, but like in 1/10 or 1/8 scale. I think if they made it in 1/8 scale, then you're looking at maybe an armor infraction competitor on there, if that makes sense. Okay, so just got shock towers to put back on. Now, comes with a little spacers, because the original towers look like that with the spacers on there. However, this doesn't look like it can be inserted like that into here. which is going to make it stand off a little bit more. Oh, no, that'll work. I think that will work. Woo. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to try this. I'm not convinced. Have you made an amateur error there, Richie? Great. Use the 2 long screws that should go in the top, in the bottom here. Oh! Never worked with on live TV with children, animals, etc. Now glad I got the electric driver. Yeah. Difference in the 2 screws. The shorter one goes in the bottom there. Sorry people, trying to keep that. No prep means, yeah, you can, yeah. Steve O'D said that Tank did a good, like a live, Tank RC did a good live through chat on this, where someone explained what no prep drag racing was. Because I thought no prep drag racing, is that just like where you turn up and go? Far from it. You can prep the heck out of your car, but you can't, the track isn't prepared. Basically, the no prep bit refers to the track. And while you can salt your tyres in certain things, there are certain compounds and stickiness and stuff that you're not supposed to actually use when building your no prep drag car. Sorry people, just trying to oh, let me move that up in shot, sorry. Yeah, my gut feel, people, is Traxxas are going to come out. That's terrible. But the bulk of these no prep drag cars are based on the Slash. So why on earth would Traxxas not want to come out with one based on the Slash? I know they've got their detractors out there, but to my mind, it would be absolutely crazy if they didn't come out with one based on the Slash. Sorry, just losing a few parts. Now, all being well, our ducks are in a row. And hopefully the longer screw solves the problem. Now this body from Extreme Racing, this is actually threaded. I'm not convinced. Gentlemen, we may have a problem. Or rather, we won't, because I can find a longer screw to go in. But that screw through that body is not going to give me enough room to go into the back of the carbon fibre plate. What I'm going to do for the minute, people, rather than everybody getting frustrated with this, I'm just going to hold them in there. We're just going to put a nut on that, the back of that, and I'll sort that out later off camera. Yeah, Tire Fryer RC, does the carbon fibre make it lighter, stronger, or both? The answer is both on that. It's definitely much lighter, as if you felt the weight of this car compared to a a stock Dragster slash two-wheel drive. Definitely much lighter. You know, on camera you want it to go well, and I think it's just not gonna. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So just gonna hold these on with nuts there for the minute, so I can get the thing installed and we can get on with the rest of the build. I'll worry about sorting that out later. Okay, now that should slide back in there. So just looking at, let's do the 3 countersunk ones from below to start with. Oh, Brad hacked his own YouTube account and got frozen out. That's quite impressive, but kind of doesn't surprise me. How you can hack your own YouTube account and get frozen out, I'm not quite sure, but with Brad, I can potentially quite well believe that. Steve OD says, guess it's time to order some dinner then. Yeah, well, it probably is where you are, Steve, as you're about 2 hours ahead of me. And don't know about anybody else been making massive use of DoorDash at the minute. I mean, I'm nearly on first name terms with my DoorDash driver, I'll tell you. Yeah. I think I've lost the screw there for a second. Lost the plot more like Richie. But yeah, if people are wondering the history of this car, I bought it as the rolling chassis off of eBay for like about 120 bucks, which I don't think was too bad considering it got that hot racing gearbox on the back there. However, ooh, no, that's not going to work. However, the hot racing gearbox won't let me fit the wheelie bar that I want to on the back of the car. And I'm sorry, guys, I'm just going to have to refresh the comments section for a second, guys, because my computer in the corner of the room has stopped working. Okay, so that's most of the front end nearly on. But how's everybody doing out there? But I do like getting people's feedback, because I don't know about anybody else, but I don't speak to anywhere near as many people these days as I do normally, because obviously you just, you know, not like quarantined to the house, but just not getting out and about there and seeing people for various obvious reasons. But I like to hear how people are getting on, what people are doing to keep themselves amused. Just refreshing that video link, people. Yeah, comments coming back up now, guys. Yeah. Yeah, Mike Burgess, thanks for commenting that. Yeah, if the hot racing comment on my car, you have to get the RPM mount. Right, I've got the RPM mount here ready to fit on. But when you look at where it goes on, there's nothing to attach it on the other side. This end of the casing is missing. I've like played around with it, and there is no way, shape or form that will fit to the back end of the car. So next bit, that's coming off. Hey, RC Rorschach. Okay, so front end sort of done. Yours truly needs to work out I'm going to fit these on. Might have to get a little bit longer screw or machine a hole through in there in order to get that to fit flush on there. But front end sort of back together. So time to tackle the rear. Now what we've got going on the rear is this Pro Series 32 pitch transmission from Proline. Now it came with the front busted open like that, so I'm hoping nobody's removed it from the box previously. I don't think they have. But this is supposed to run much smoother, and thankfully it comes with the spurt on there, because I'm not quite sure what in terms of gearing I'm going to be running on the thing as yet, but it appears to be very well made, as it should be for the amount of money I paid for it. But quite a nice piece of kit, and it's supposed to be much smoother, faster accelerating, etc. on there, so we shall see. And I've also got all of the remaining ceramic bearings from the first bit of the build, which I'm going to take apart, but I'll do it off screen. I'm going to take this apart, fit all the ceramic bearings to it, so as to get the maximum performance on there. Anyway, set that aside for the minute. Trash out the way. If anybody could see, if you could see this off camera, there's just like a huge pile of trash on the floor where I end up throwing everything on there. In general, when I'm working like on my own off camera, I tend to keep things like a lot neater on it, but just trying to keep everything tanned. So now, just setting all my screws to one side. Time to fit that rear extreme carbon fibre tower on there. Now if I can fit the front one, fingers crossed, this should go a little bit better. Oh, thank you, Mike Burgess. Yeah, you're good. It was the transmission. It was just driving me nuts. Like, I got that, and if anybody's not quite sure what Mike's meaning about, as I said, this, you need this bit, the RPM bit, to fit RPM mount, but that would not fit the bit flopping around in the wind attached to the hot racing mount. So it's going to go on if somebody wants a fairly cheap but decent, too small. That's the one I want. Got this rotor bit for about 16, 17 bucks online. Thing is absolutely brilliant, and like, it's purely a cordless screwdriver as opposed to a cordless drill on here. The only thing I would say is you need a little bit of care, because what I tend to do in general when I'm off camera is loosen the screws beforehand with the hex driver and then use this, because if any of these are too tight it can strip the head on. But looking good so far. Oh, Matt J1, yeah, I got I picked the carbon fibre roller. It's a complete roller, everything included other than the electrics, wheels and tyres, etc. 120 eBay, which I didn't think was too bad. Yeah, oh, thanks, Earl, on that Proline transmission. I know you've got a pretty good drag car yourself there. So, no, I nearly touched you up for some advice on building this one. And I still may have a couple of queries on there. Now, thinking I've got to release these two to shift that Proline transmission off the back. And I am going to be going out running, doing like a full-on speed run this weekend of the Armour Felony. I'll fit the new gear into it. And those very nice kind people at Armour, because I had a problem with the ESC failing on the felony, or it was wanting to fail. They said they were out of 150 amp replacement ESCs. So would I mind taking the 160 amp version? No, I have no problem with that at all, Armour. So that will be going in later today, all being well. Anyhow, that should... You see this? Ooh. 2 more on there. Sorry, people. I'm just trying to... That's not that one. 2 more screws holding that in the top there. He says. And you don't want to bite in there either. Oh, there it is. If I wasn't trying to use one that was too small or too big, it would really, really help Richie. Rock and Roller RC, I will look in the comments afterwards and put all the part numbers up on there. In fact, I'll put all the part numbers up against the car that I've bought for it so far. So if anybody's got any queries on there, it's just a little bit tricky to do when you're going live off the phone. It's not quite the same as going live off the computer. Although, as I say, I'm going to try and rectify that next week. Shift that apart. Okay, now quite a bit of work to do on this because I've got to remove the arms, the shocks, the links, drive shafts on here because because basically everything bolts on to the motor on there. So it's got to work on that. And tail goes. Now the only thing being with these extreme towers, they come with absolutely no instructions as to which way round that should fit on there. I'm figuring that way, so I'll leave it lying down like that. Get through this as fast as I can. So if anybody sees me put screws in the wrong order, do shout out in the comment section below the video. Oh, no. Oh yeah, Micron RC, this is not the RPM wheelie bar. It's like a, it's not made out of a carbon fiber, but it's made out of a composite, which is supposed to be lighter and stronger than carbon fiber. So I thought I'd take a chance on it. It was a reasonable price on eBay. Again, I can put a link to that if anyone is interested on that. Most of these screws are the same length, so it's going to aid putting that together. And I bought a new slipper. I bought new Super Duty slipper clutch system, a small size one for the Dragster / 2-wheel drive, but I have no idea whether the Proline kit already comes with an uprated one on there. But I bought the hot racing part before I brought the Proline kit, if that makes sense. Man, whoever built this thing up went like way overboard with like Loctite on parts that never needed a Loctite in. I'll say that's not wanting to come up out of there easily, but it actually is doing, and that's just fallen off the bottom, so that makes life easier. Oh, Micron RC gearing. Anybody out there has got any advice on gearing? I have not got a clue. I know I'm running this 2.5 turn brushless Trinity motor, which I is guessing is going to need a very, very small pinion indeed on there. But yeah, anybody's got any comments at all on the gearing, would much appreciate that. I know it's a lot of trial and error and people are reluctant to give away the gearing specs on there, but a lot of that varies from car to car as to like the weight you're running, the size battery you're running, the motor you're running. So much of that is purely going to be down to trial and error. And there we are. I'll put that one back in there for the minute. That to one side. Now, okay. Care needed here, people, to make sure we don't fit the thing the wrong way around on there. That was like that because this side of the mount was to this side of the chassis on here, therefore that side is on there. Hope that makes sense. As I say, doing this a bit on the fly. Next thing we need to do, remove the drive shafts. Also, anybody got any advice on what drive shafts to run on the car? I feel some very child unfriendly language coming on. I'm thinking that should be 1.5 hex through the middle of there. I can't see it being smaller than that, but that does not want to fit in there for the minute. So maybe that's 1 mil. Of which I have not got one on. Oh, he says, with a man who has just about every tool known to man on there. Yeah, that's smaller than that. There we go. Russell, Mike, thanks, Mike Burgess. Russell, oh, trucks. Yeah. Somebody said Trucks Bandit drive shafts on there. Yeah, Earl Moorhead, what's the KV on the motor? With him, it literally just says 2.5 turn. They don't quote a KV motor. They don't quote the KVs on those really small turn motors. In fact, there's like a disclaimer on the site explaining why, which I can't remember all the full reasons there on it, Earl. But yeah, they just put them down as 2.5. Oh, Mike, what ESC am I going to run it with the 2.5? Now, I thought to start with, I would try this Sidewinder 8. 6S capable, 90 amp max on there. But I've got the Newcastle 1/5 version to try in the event that that fails. I bought this along with some other stuff. I don't use it on anything else, so if it goes bang, it's not going to worry me too much on there. That might sound awful, people. Okay, motors to the side. Wow. Okay. Proline thing looks a completely different beast. I'm thinking do it by the numbers, Rich. Drive shafts back on first. But yeah, anyone's got any advice on this car, people, I do not claim to know it. This is the first no prep drag car I've ever built up, so I'm open entirely to advice from people out there. I know some of you guys, I know Earl runs a pretty good no prep drag car. Yeah, Mike Badger, 2.5 over 9,000 kV, man. Wow. Wow. Come on. clearly put that in from the wrong side. Let's say when I'm doing this on my own, a lot of the times I still film myself purely so that, like, if you mix any of the parts up, anything goes wrong, you know what the heck goes where. And at the minute, a tiny little pin is definitely going to... I'm definitely wanting to use some very child-unfriendly language on it. Just come out of there, but that does not want to settle in there easily at all. Wow. I've got the SkyRC analyzer, Mike. One of the reasons why I'd got that was hoping the drag functionality on it for the testing, the functionality for the drag racing was very, very appealing on that. And that really, it really, really is not wanting to play nice and go back in there, people. Man. Patience, Rich, patience. Yeah, looking at these, it's almost like somebody's cut these down to fit. Look at that. It's almost like it's been snapped on the bottom before. And the other one was pretty similar. Anyway, I'll try this one. And I can always come back to it off camera later. But that first one was definitely not wanting to play ball at all. And that one has gone straight in. Yeah, Earl, on opinions with the 32 pitch, what on earth should I go for? Because looking at recommendations, a lot of people have got, they put the gearing recommendations down for the 48 pitch ones, but obviously with running a 32 pitch setup, what on earth do I go for? I've got like just about every 32 pitch gear and pinion you could possibly imagine, which I've accumulated over the years. No, that one is definitely not going to play ball and go in there easily, people. So keep it a flow, Rich. Keep moving. He's handling okay. An L, one assumes, on the other side of them. Okay, now these brackets obviously specifically designed for mounting onto the hot racing part on there. So I'm going to need to remove both of these and fit the pin straight through here. I say it's a completely new part to me on it. Yeah, on there not being much of the original slash left. That's where I went with the when I saw this carbon fiber kit, carbon fiber chassis. I went with that because I thought, what's the point in buying a slash, taking like 3/4 of that apart and fitting new parts on, and having a load of the parts I would be left with. I wouldn't really be able to sell on eBay for an awful lot to get any of the money back. Oh, but that makes sense. So that is kind of why I went down this route. Okay, so that will be going on sale on eBay later on today, all being well. Like I say, they reckon that hot racing gearbox is pretty good as well, but I couldn't see any way, shape or form the wheelie bar was going to fit to it. Yeah, Micron on the transmission. I'm not like super worried about it going for like all out speed race. It purely for dragging. So what is my best ratio or a good one to start with for drag racing? Is my question. Man, some of this really isn't wanting to play friendly today. At all. Man, definitely don't want to play friendly. What build projects is everyone else working out on their people? I would like to hear from people as to what they're working on. Anybody got any? Oh, and also, what do you people think the next release from Armour, the next release from Traxxas is going to be? My gut feel is we're going to see, as I said, no prep drag car coming out from Traxxas fairly soon indeed. In fact, I'm surprised it's not been out in the past couple of weeks. But then saying that, a lot of the Traxxas cars at the minute are out of stock, leading me to think that they've got production problems out there in the Far East. Okay, so we're coming together there, Richie. Just got to remember to sort that screw out later. Oh, slash 4x4 with Mamba Monster 2. That's going to be quite nippy. Okay. Like I said, not sure which way round that it's going to fit on there. Yeah, Earl, on that pitch, is that 90 tooth? Is that a 90 tooth 48 pitch or 90 tooth 32 pitch? I'm guessing 48 pitch, but do share it out in the comments. Now this is where the skill comes in remembering what the hell goes where. Oh, idiot boy. Going to utilise 2 screws out of the original shock mount. Yes, 48 pitch, Earl. Yeah, it's so I'm open-minded as to, like, I haven't got the 32 pitch one. I really, a lot of it, I'm sure, will be by trial and error in terms of experimenting out with there. But now I've got that GNSS analyzer. You can set up a drag racing mode on there, so you can see exactly what gearing works. So no guesswork thinking, is that fast? Is that launch quicker? You're going to be able to, we should be able to see on there exactly what's working the best. So I've done, all being well, I might get this together for tomorrow morning and give it a quick run, but we shall see. Oh, Invincible Player. Yeah, Richard, can you do a tour of your RC collection? I've been thinking about doing that for a while, actually. I've made some headway in tidying my garage up, but if you could still see, if you could see behind the scenes, it would be like a bit horrific in places, and mainly because of all my daughter Isabella's junk lying around the down garage, as opposed to mine. Okay. Woo. Man. This could be tricky because that screw before, woo. Some of this I'm definitely going to need to work off of camera, because I'm thinking to mount those screws back in from there, I need to be coming in through from this side to undo it, which removing the gearbox casing and possibly the fitting of a nut on there. No, I can probably do that. Ooh. I have to say the Proline gearbox wasn't overly cheap at all, like probably about as much as the darn car was, but it does appear to be very well made indeed. Now, you see, the problem I had, people, is sorry, I'd screw in my mouth there for a minute. I think the screw goes through from the underside on here, which means it's not the easiest of things to fit in there. Take your pick on the suspension points there, Richie. Man, that's going to be tight. Okay. The Proline kit does come with a lot of nuts with it, which does indicate to me going to be on that. Okay, that's not as bad as I thought. So, quite a bit of experimentation as to where that fits. And here, let's put the, ooh. Very close tolerance on there, to say the least. Kind of one of the jobs, if I were doing this on my own, the air in this garage would be absolutely blue, I'll tell you. Ooh. Don't want to go too tight on these plastic covers, because otherwise you're going to crack them. Ooh. And it would help if I could line the screw up properly there, Rich. As I say, don't go too tight on these casings, because otherwise you're going to bust something on that other side. Knowing what I've done on that, should be a bit simpler to fit. Yeah, Dave's outdoors. That's a good point on there. Yeah, I was thinking that, but trying to keep the flow going on the video and not be like two big pauses where I think about it. But yeah, as Dave said, if it was to remove the shock tower, take the links off the outside edges on here, then take the link off completely, fit the link to the inside edge on the shock tower, fit the shock tower on, then connect the outside edge on there, would be a little bit simpler way of doing it. But going with the flow as best I can at the minute there, people. Just checking. Get the same shock mounting position on this side, which is the upper one. On there. Yeah, RC raw shock. That's a very good point. I think I was probably not alone in thinking like the no prep drag racing. I was thinking, well, surely you prepare your car. It's ridiculous. You know, you're not just going to go along and race 1-to-1 without any prep work at all. But as you say, it is purely the no prep is the surface not being prepared, meaning that you can pretty much do this in any inner city, suburban, countryside, etc. on there. Now, if anybody has noticed, the person that sold me this, this hex is a completely different size to this one on here, but I've got a couple of metal ones, which I shall be fitting before we finish up on this video. Now, I've got the same issue on this end and fitting these shock towers. Ooh, is this potentially? Now, the original mount, or the original shock tower, is kind of like spaced out on here. However, these, I've got that little part there, but you'd think maybe insets into here, but it doesn't. If I was to put that up on its own, you look at the shock tower there. Is that going to be leaning out? No, it's not too bad. I was thinking that was going to be, I was going to start thinking when I said to people, it was going to be leaning out too much like that. But I think that will actually be fine on there. However, even the long screws that Proline, that Extreme supply with the kit, wrong size hex. Even these long screws they supply with it is barely enough to get into that carbon fibre tower, which isn't threaded. So I'm going to do exactly as I did at the front, and for the minute, in terms of the interest of continuity and keeping the build going, we're going to pop that through there, just tag a nut lightly on the back to keep it in place until I can sort out that spacing issue. Can do the same on this side. First, making sure I get the right hole. And that will enable me to put the car back together. Just got to remember all the bits I need to correct later, otherwise it'll probably go horrifically wrong when I first run the thing. Now, rear end of that, pretty much ready to go on. Just got 2 screws to go through on the top on there, and 6 from underneath. So let's get those in first of all. Yeah, the insert, when you're saying the insert goes into the shock cap on there. Yeah, I will try that later, guys. I'm open to advice. I do not claim to know all this stuff. And as I said, like, if anybody shouts at any howlers that I'm doing on here, for goodness sake, shout out. Going to come back to that one in a second because that is not playing nice at all. Definitely one of these moments when I want to use a few children-friendly language words. If it was easy, as my wife said, everyone would be doing it. Okay. Don't tighten that right the way up. Get another one in across there. Sorry, people, trying to keep my hands out the camera shot. Okay, 2 in. Life is getting a little bit easier. 3 in. So don't tighten them right down at the start, particularly as I've got those 2 to get in at the back, so I want a bit of wiggle room, if you like. Okay, now those 2 at the back in. Tighten that all the way in. Looking around for the other screw. It's on the end of the darn hex driver, isn't it? I'll tell you, one of the hardest things I've taken apart recently, which I've got a video coming up on, is the Dragster Max. And I had to disassemble the entire transmission, both the front and rear diffs, while fitting the Wide Max kit to it. And I went out to test it yesterday and I ran about 25 meters before there was a horrendous grating noise from the brand new rear differential I fitted to it. Obviously not fitted that well, Richie. Ooh. Okay. So, oh man, it weighs like about a pound in weight. Just crazy. Anyway, he says, let's remove this battery. Ooh. Wow. Too small. You could see the state of this workbench. There's so many tools on here. Sorry, knocking the camera. Ah, there we are. Hex driver. Now you might be wondering what I'm undoing this for, or will become apparent in a second. Fill the tires with helium. Yeah. I've Hey, I'll see you next Tuesday in the house. How you doing, boys? I'm gonna buy one of your beanies to keep me warm in these San Francisco winters. So I was thinking about that earlier today, actually. You boys are up late though. What's that, gonna be 11:30? I don't know, you're having an early start. Yeah. Micron RC, do you need to be a mod to drop a link? I'm not sure. I've not got anyone set up as moderators on it at all at the minute. The reason why I'm removing that part of the battery tray, people, is to show you. That's the new Gen Z, as I say, 5,800 milliamp pack. That's going to slide in under there. So I'm going to cut 2 grooves in the side so I can put a strap around the top. And then I'm going to mount my ESC on. I'm going to make myself a little mounting plate up, so I'm mounting the ESC above there. But I just wanted to remove that so people could see where the battery went in, or it would fit in kind of technically the other way. You're thinking, no, of course it wouldn't, because then the battery ports get blocked. So it is going to have to sit like that on there. Not quite sure where it's got the 2 positive and the 2 negative ports on there. I guess so you've got kind of variations in fitting, because if I had to go for the outside ones, it would only just squeeze in. But looking forward to trying it out with that in. Oh, so one barely used hot racing 2-wheel drive / transmission will be going up on eBay later this evening. Okay, change these hexes over while I remember at the back of the car. And if anybody's wondering what this is I'm using, it's got between like a 5 and 7 mil spanner. You just twist the grip on there to lock it between the 2 positions on there. Absolute godsend to my mind. I said, I'll see you next Tuesday, laying with the missus, watching you, mate. I will never be able to unsee that picture in my mind. If everybody wants some amusement, right, I live about 15-20 minutes from San Francisco Zoo, which is opened up, and if anybody is in the area, it's a really good place to go to and take your kids. And I was there with Isabella a couple of weeks ago, and we're by the ape compound, and this huge, like 400-pound ape comes up and like suddenly grabs one of the little ones and starts rocking backwards and forwards. And my daughter goes, Daddy, that's not looking very wholesome. Now, no pin in this one. But then, Richie has a box of spares for just about everything. Too thick. Not convinced that's the right size plastic hex, the right size metal hex I got on there. Set 2 pins aside. Have to rethink. Just gonna have to rethink the hex situation. Those to my mind looking way too big. Yeah, we'll try those plastic ones. Oh, and that is one thing. Do people recommend running metal hexes on the back of a no-prep drag car? Because, like I say, completely open to advice on that. Trust me, the more thing is real frightening. I can't believe you let your missus drive the cars. Although, saying that, is my daughter Isabella occasionally does drive some of the stuff, and she's not too bad with the stuff. So these are not necessarily the hexes I'm going to end up using, but just for continuity so that I don't miss it, and I've got that big one that side and the small one this side. I want to get them both right today. Needs a few shims or something to get this sorted. As that is not wanting to play friendly at all. Yeah, clipped on for the minute. See what I mean? But there's a big gap, so that needs some sort of shimming out on that. Anyway, wheel nut back on, other side on. The main thing I didn't want to be doing is have the small one on this side and this giant one that they've got fitted on this side, if that makes sense there, people. Oh, right, night, Earl. Glad you dropped in. Cheers, Earl. The horizontal mambo. See, I'll see you next Tuesday. You've come on and you've brought down to the level of conversation you brought it down to. It's just where I intended this video to be. And that one's still got the pin on. Yeah, definitely a little bit of work to do on these, getting the drive shaft set up right for sure. And I've used the MIP drive shafts before on a lot of my really high power Dragster stuff to great effect, but they're like about 140 bucks a pair or something ridiculous on there. Anyway, a little bit of tidying up to do, people. Okay, gonna chuck those two hexes away. Have a bit of a tidy up now. All being well, I'm gonna worry about fitting a slipper clutch at a later stage. What I'd like to get done tonight, is the wheelie bar fitted. Now, while I had gone and bought the RPM mount, the Proline gearbox completely does away with that. So should be able to get that on. Now, thought for the day, people. Well, yeah, I'm assuming you've got to alter it at the top there. Oh, not got screws in there. Sorry, people. Just I've got like 1,000,001 screws on the side here. Now these, that is a fixing kit for the wheelie bar. So what are we thinking? Long screws in the top, short screws in the top. I'm thinking long screws in the top. Now it's a 10-inch wheelie bar, which somebody in the model store recommended to me. You could wear the battery out screwing that thing in. That was getting a little bit tight in there at the end. So I'm not convinced. I might need to fit a shorter screw in there anyway. A short one on the bottom. Go super tight until I've got it all sorted. Man, I have to get some bigger shelving to fit this thing around. Oh, thought for the day. I've just noticed it's come with 3 really long screws and 1 short screw. Interesting. So I ain't gonna have much choice other than to use. No, you see that's the short one goes through the bottom there. Or the longer one because it's double-sided on there. So 1 short screw in this side. The longer ones obviously go through everywhere else. Sorry, trying to keep my hands out of the way, people. You could read a book while I screwed this thing in, couldn't you? It's taking that long. Okay, once again, let's not go super tight in the top there. Feels like it's coming together. Now I've got the wheelie bar on. We'll try and get the wheels on by the end of this video. Yeah, RC Master, if you were screwing this in by hand, you'd be like for about 10 minutes, you know. It's just getting stiff towards the end in there, so I'm probably going to tighten that up manually on there rather than wrist stripping the head on the thing on there. So it is definitely coming together slowly but surely. Anyway, let's see what it looks like with this. Fit the motor. I'm going to fit the motor another day because I want to test the electrics before I fire it all up on here. But get the tyres on, see what it looks like. Sorry people, I'm trying to keep up with the comments people, but it's tricky trying to concentrate on what you're looking at and concentrate on where the camera's pointing as well as looking at the comments on there. But I do go through the comments later on because, as I said, like some of the bits like gearing, things like that, quite open advice on there, people. So do have your say on those. And I will put the front tyres together, provided the camera doesn't die out on me. The other week, I apologise, the camera was getting to, when the camera was, the iPhone was going in an over temperature warning and cutting out. And it's quite a bit cooler this week, like into the 60s or so. Get him a techno, sorry, no Lego. Do you think Billy could build this? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm learning a lot from putting it together because, bearing in mind, doing it this way, you're buying a lot of parts that are made by completely different manufacturers and putting it all together into one car. So nothing's necessarily made to ideally fit with the other thing on there. So, you know, learning quite a bit along the way myself on there. Although I do quite like doing this, give it a better name, spannering, as I would say on there. Sorry people, I'm just tidying all the screws and stuff up out the way. Saving myself a little bit of work later on. Now, the front wheels, as I say, I've got these Proline drag tyre green I have no idea on any of like the compound stuff. What does that mean? Does that mean it's super soft, super hard? Not sure at all. So if you know, please have your say and shout out in the comment section. Oh, John Drapella, you'd kill for temperatures in the 60s. Where are you now? Are you somewhere really cold or somewhere really hot? Because like 3 weeks ago here, it was like hitting like 100 degrees nearly every day. It was just ridiculous temperature on there. Oh, and I've got some chickens now, people. That's the sad bit of my life I want to say about. No, it's not. They're actually quite cute. And if anybody wonders where I've been keeping them, where they've been, where in my house, while they've been growing up as chickens, I've actually kept them for 2 months in the bath in the upstairs bedroom. It's a good job my landlord hasn't come round with it being like COVID-19. But I spent about 4 hours at the weekend building up a chicken coop and getting that ready. So they're all sorted now. As I say, we'll sort the tyres out later, but I just want to put them on the car now just to see what they look like. Although I think I'm going to need some bearings on there. So we'll put the wheels together, see what they look like. Oh, yeah, RC Rorschach, yeah, body choices. I'd not actually even thought like that far ahead. I'm thinking I'd like to do some sort of classic 60s style muscle car, but at the same time, I'm focused on getting this thing to go quite fast. Like I said, I'm not worried about driving it myself. I'm quite more interested in getting, you know, like somebody with good reaction time, a bit younger on there, that can give the thing a good outing. And I'll work on the build, the setup, the prep, etc. on there. But I'm quite interested in getting a body for it that's quite aerodynamic. Yeah, those tyres are going to require a little bit of work to get sorted. Yeah, I was debating whether whether I needed any kind of bearing or anything, but it looks like that's going to fit straight on. Sorry, people. As I say, constant battle to make sure you, yeah. Yeah, so I've taken my time with the build on this. Like, I bought like the best bits I can, make it as light as I can. I thought if I was ever going to build one, I wasn't going to do it by halves. I wanted to make like a really good high-end one. But that's the kind of reason why I didn't just go for a basic slash and then take the thing apart, because I just thought it was just like, you know, throwing money away on there, because there's so many bits you're never going to use again on that. My main concern at the minute is I've got this very nice. Ah, there we go. Right, thank you. Sorry, somebody decided to call, and the screen went dead for a second there. Sorry, people. I should make sure the thing's turned off for calls in future. I learn something every day, so next time I'm going to turn it off so nobody can call me up. So, there we are. We are looking like a proper dragster. Wheelie bar out there. I think it's about double the length it was when I started out with that wheelie bar on there. But now we're looking like we're going to do that. So probably one more of these live build videos and we're pretty much ready to go, I think. Yeah, rock and roll RC, apologies. When the phone rang, it just freezes the live YouTube feed. I will learn from that in future and turn the phone part of the ringer part of the phone off on there. Anyway, next part of the build, we're going to be fitting the sway bars, motor, but I want to test that with the ESC to start with, and the servo. But I need to get a bracket to fit that, because, well, it's going to fit flat down on there. If you look under here, there's nothing at all. There's obviously space for 2 pillars to go down through there, so I need to look as to what I can get online to fit the servo to there, but that shouldn't be too long coming. That probably only weighs about 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds, I would think, at the most so far, but I will put it on the scales before the next video starts. And put the steering back together, because I obviously haven't attached that on there properly. Anyway, folks, I'm going to call it a day for now. Hope that's given people a little bit of insight and provided some interest this afternoon. Love to everyone out there, and if you like this video, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up, guys. And most of all, people, stay safe out of there. Above all, cheers for watching. Okay, bye.